Hey folks, my name is Ravish and welcome back to another video in the series of DevOps interviews. Okay, so these are the real-time interviews and I'm back again with another video. In this video, I'm interviewing a guy who is around 5 to 6 years of experience in DevOps, and he has claimed around 2+ years of experience in AWS DevOps. So I'll be concentrating a bit on AWS DevOps. I'll be concentrating on a few things that he has claimed, like he has technical skills like Linux, Ubuntu, and then Ansible, Terraform, CloudFormation that he has. And on the source code management, he's talking about the Git and Maven and a lot of other things in the servers, Apache, Tomcat, Docker Hub, Git, IAM, etc. So these are the things that he has claimed. Okay, so I'll be not posting the whole interview. I'll be posting the excerpt again because I don't want to make it boring. And again, you know the drill, that if you're new over here, kindly subscribe the channel because it really supports me to create more content like this. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. So I'll start from the very basics. Can you explain me what are the different phases in DevOps?
Yeah, developing stage. So then we'll release the deploy. Then we'll release the build. So after the build, there is a unit test, is a JUnit test, and by using the Jenkins, we can use that testing automation. After that, we can just deploy the we can do the continuous integration. So after the integration, we'll do the different server in environment. We'll do the testing, all testing team. Then we can deploying in the production environment as well.
Okay, but how do you test? Is there any phase for testing? Okay, I'll repeat. Is there any phase for testing in your whole phase? Like, what do you do for testing?
Yes, sir. After deployment, I mean after continuous integration. So after the they will installing testing server will install that will install that build. Then that testing team will do the testing all. So once everything is going fine, then only we'll do the production deployment. So
Okay, so how are you testing this? And what are the tools and technology that you use for testing?
we are using the Selenium testing right now. So after that production, after production deployment, there is smoke testing also.
Okay, and how do you integrate this Selenium test in your pipeline or something?
No, we are not doing the integrations in the pipeline.
Then how is it happening, the Selenium testing?
No, that they are doing manually, sir, the Selenium testing.
Okay, so you are doing it or someone else from the testing team is doing it?
Someone, I don't know experience. I don't have knowledge on the Selenium testing, sir.
Okay, no problem, no problem. So how do you monitor your applications which you deploy?
NAC use monitoring tool, sir.
Sorry?
NAC use.
Okay, okay. How do you set it up?
No, I'm not. I don't have experience on that, so I'm not doing that part, sir.
Okay, no problem. Okay, okay, okay. So can you explain me your project? Like what is the tech stack behind the project?
Okay, after developing the code, then we are just they are pushing into GitHub. So after the GitHub, just we are doing by using the CI/CD pipeline. Just we are automatic build we are releasing. So after that, artificial we are just
Oh, no, I'm not asking the process. I'm asking the tech stack.
Means
what language you are using for your code, what are the tools you are using, the whole tech stack.
they are using Java application, Java language for the text one, and we are using the Git and Docker, the Jenkins. These are the DevOps tool. They are using Maven, Jenkins, Git, and for testing they are using Selenium.
Okay, so the code is in Java, right?
Yes.
Okay, so is it a desktop application, web-based application, or anything else? What kind of application it is?
Web-based applications.
Web-based application. Okay. So what is your role in this application? I mean, how how do you see yourself in this role? What are the daily activities that you do, and what have you done in this project?
Okay. So if you have any Git related issues, then I will yeah, developer facing the Git related issues. Then I'm resolving that, and I'm creating that artificial. You're using the Maven. Then I'm creating the jobs from the Jenkins pipeline. If any, I'm just setting the Jenkins pipeline. If any managing also, if any plugins or if any jobs are failed, then we'll check the console and identify the issues and and when doing the reconfiguration solve.
Okay, so what kind of
And yes,
issues you generally faced on day-to-day basis?
what kind of, sir?
What kind of issues that you face on general basis in your pipelines or something?
Yeah, the main issue is the jobs will not work in the Jenkins. So that time we are just checking the console. So if any Git repository are not configuring properly or logins problems or uh, uh, the nodes agents are not activated, a connection fail. So in that case, the job will not work properly. So again, we have to check all the setups all for in the Jenkins.
Okay, okay. So what source code management you are using? Git or anything?
Yeah, Git only, sir.
Okay, okay. What is the difference between Git and GitHub?
Git is a local repository we have, sir. GitHub is a central repository. So here we are all the do the activities. Git. We'll use the Git, all the Git commands, Git add, Git commit. Then we'll push to the code to the branches to directly GitHub repository.
Local repository. I mean, repository. What do you understand by repository?
It is just a storage, that the code storage, the
Code.
source code storage.
Okay. So when you install Git in your system, does it come with a repository?
Yes, yes, sir.
What kind
Local
of
repository.
what kind of repository it comes with?
I mean, by installing the Git, it will the I mean what.
Oh no. See,
The
you
setup is complete. Is a I mean, Git index. There is some a flow is this index, and we will move to index. Then we'll move to commit by using committed. We'll move to local branch.
no. I think there is a confusion. So when you install Git in your system, it's just an
Yes,
installer,
sir.
right? You install it. Okay. Now you are saying that it comes with a repository, but a repository is your like what code base? It does not come with a code base. So how can you say that local Git is a something that has a repository? That
After Yes, sir. After installing, we have to use one command Git in it.
mm-hmm.
Then the local repository will form.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But that does not explain the difference between Git and GitHub. So what exactly is the difference between both of them?
Uh, I mean, Git is the just we can say we can do all the activities and we can post to code to GitHub. So GitHub is the central repository, so everyone can access by using that logins all. And GitHub is a local, the individual developer provides what you say, the tool.
Okay, so let me put it in a simple manner. Git is a software or a service or both?
Software, sir.
Software. And
Yes, sir.
GitHub is software, service or both?
Both, sir. Yes, service and software.
Okay, okay. So let's say, what do you understand by Git fork?
Git fork is a just a second, sir. I will recall that.
Mm-hmm.
It is like, I think it is just like a clone operation. We can use the instead of clone, we can use the Git fork, sir.
Okay, okay. Why should I use Git or why should I use SVN? I mean, if I want to make a difference out of Git and SVN, which one should I use and why?
We can use Git is the latest one and the updated one. SVN is the oldest one, and we don't have a central repository. I mean, local repository into the SVN, sir. If someone lost the code, someone lost the code, we can't get it because. And but in the Git, if you lost the central repository also, so everyone, every developer will do every day the clone operation. So they have the updated one.
Okay. What is the difference between git fetch and git pull?
Yes, sir. Git pull is the git pull operation combined a git fetch and git merge, sir.
I mean, can you give an example, live example of it? If you are, when do you use git pull and when do you use git fetch in a project when you are working?
Yes, sir. Git pull. In git fetch, we will only brings the changes from the central repository to local repository, sir. Only it will take the changes, not one entire central repository file. It will take it just only, it will brings only the changes from git fetch to, I mean, only central repository to local repository.
Okay. Fair enough. So what CI/CD tool that you have used? Jenkins or anything else?
Jenkins, sir.
Okay. So have you heard about something known as Hudson?
Sorry, sir.
Hudson, HUDSON.
No, sir.
Okay, no problem. Okay, let's start with very basics from the Jenkins. Can you explain me a few features of Jenkins? Any feature that you feel like that it's very good? Any feature?
I mean, plugins installation like that, sir.
Any feature that you can talk about? Let's say plugin. Okay, so what about it? What is great about it?
Yeah, for the plugin installation, based on our job, based on our activity or our task, we have to install the plugin. So all the plugins are available. So we have to just install the plugin related to record as per our jobs. You have to install the plugins. So there is some basic plugins we can see: Jenkins plugins, build pipeline plugin, Maven for install, for build, for we can use Maven, and build pipeline and performance plugin.
Okay. So
And
yeah,
yes, sir.
please go ahead.
Yeah, and we have nodes option also there. So we have just installation. We have to install the nodes. So and the nodes, it will generate some agent files and all. After that, it will generate one code. So that code we have to link up with our EC2 instance. So this is a process we are just install. We are link up with nodes and the EC2 instance. So it will help in CI/CD pipeline setup.
Okay. So in general, there is a concept known as continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment. And then
Yes,
we apply these rules using any CI/CD tool, for example, let's say Jenkins. So let's start from the very basic and then we'll circle back to the Jenkins question. What is the difference between CI, continuous integration, CD, continuous delivery, and continuous deployment? What is the difference between all of them?
yes. Yeah, continuation integration and continuous deployment delivery are the is a software development practices. Okay, before they used to follow the waterfall methodology, and now we are using this complete agile methodology. So continuous integration is a process where the developer frequently makes their code and change into the shared repository. Then they will be automated building, I mean, build process and testing. There's some internal testing, unit testing, something. So in continuation delivery is the intention. It is extension of continuation integration. where we will mimic a few changes before product or we can say deployment.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, yeah, and continuation deployment is it is just valid. We have to validate the code, and once you get, I mean, no need the manual deploy. Automatically, it will just we can deploy. I mean, we can do the deployment to production zone. In the continuation delivery, we have to take the manual approval. Then only we can do the production deployment.
Okay. Okay. What's the difference between a scripted pipeline and a declarative pipeline?
Yeah, scripted pipeline and declarative both are we have to use coding on. We have to use the code in the scripted and declarative. But in the declarative pipeline, we have to mention the code in the Jenkins. I mean, the new job, we have to mention the code, and the declarative pipeline. I mean, another pipeline, we have to mention the code in the Git repository. So there we'll pull the codes directly.
Okay. Okay. Now I'll ask you a scenario based question. Okay. So
Okay.
for example, you have a system with you in which you have installed Jenkins. Okay. And it has been happening since last 6 months. You are doing everything on that Jenkins and everything is going fine. Okay. Something happens to that system, and within 2 hours or within, let's say, 1 day, that system is going to be destroyed. Okay, that VM or that on-prem system, whatever you have, is going to be destroyed. Now,
Okay.
what is the next step you will take, or what are the steps that you will take in order to save your builds, in order to save your packages, in order to save your database of Jenkins? What will you do? Did you understand the question?
Yeah, you're saying that Jenkins server going to destroy?
Within 1 hour, 2 hours, or let's say 24 hours, it is going to be destroyed. You have to save your Jenkins. How will you do that? And what are the measures that you will take?
Okay. Not very sure about this, but we can take another instance and we can. I think no, I'm not sure about this.
Okay, let's say we'll do backup. Let me help you. We'll do backup. How we do that?
Okay.
How do we do that? Have you heard about it? Did anything? Read about it? Anything? Or even if you have
Sorry,
not?
your voice is breaking now, sir.
Okay, I'm saying, is it anyhow better?
Yes, it's better
Okay,
now.
so I'm saying that, let's say you have to take in the next step, you have to take a backup of it. Okay, and you
Okay.
said that you will take a new instance. Have you heard about it or read from anywhere? And even if you have not, I want you to take a guess. How will you take the backup?
I mean the same the Jenkins server we have to install in other instance, and we taken the configuration files.
Okay, 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 no problem. um, how do you create a master agent or master slave architecture in Jenkins?
Sorry, sir.
How do you create a master slave or master agent architecture in Jenkins?
So there is a nodes options is there in the manage Jenkins. There is a nodes options is there.
Mm-hmm.
So there we whatever the nodes is required, we have to mention, like for example, we are creating staging and production.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, staging the title we have to mention. Then we have to click on save. Okay, so it will generate the agent files, two agent file and Java file one war file, and the two files we have to install. We have to move to. We have to copy to the instance, or which instance we are connecting with the Jenkins. We
Mm-hmm.
have to instance. Then we have to run the one code will generated one command. That command we have to run in there.
What is the first step that you will take when you have to create a master agent or master slave? I mean, where do you go in Jenkins and where do you start configuring it?
Manage plugins. Manage plugins are there. Manage option is there. Manage Jenkins options is there.
Okay, okay, okay. I've seen that in your resume that you have written you have 2 years of experience in AWS DevOps, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how AWS DevOps is different from general DevOps, or are they both the same thing?
Yeah, general DevOps means, for example, in my previous company, I worked as a manual tester, but I know what the flow is going on. So uh, they are doing everything in manually. They are taking the centrals, the server is not AWS, then they are taking the another server, control as server, and they are using Git tool. Okay, they are everything, they are not linked up with AWS or everything, just they are doing the manual build, manual thing, everything they are doing. So they are using the DevOps tool, but they are not linked up with AWS.
Okay, so can DevOps exist without cloud? Is that possible?
No, asking AWS and Jenkins, no, sir. AWS and
Yeah,
DevOps, no, sir.
yeah, that question is fine. I'm putting a new question like, can your DevOps exist without cloud?
Yes.
So if there is no AWS, would there be DevOps?
Yes, we can install in our local server. We can do the all the, I mean, Jenkins we can install in our local server. Git we can install in the local server.
Okay, so what are the components of AWS DevOps? And or you can say what are the services that we have in AWS DevOps?
Uh, there is a lot of services there. EC2 instances and S3 bucket, VPC, the private server, private cloud.
They are part of AWS service or AWS DevOps service?
It is AWS service.
Huh, I'm asking what are the components of AWS DevOps, not AWS as a whole.
Okay, only AWS DevOps asking.
Yes, this will be only on AWS DevOps. What are the components that we have or the services we have?
Yeah, CloudWatch. CloudWatch is a we can use for the CloudWatch, sir.
CloudWatch you can use as a service, but it's not a part of AWS DevOps. So okay, so like you have written in your resume like 2 years experience. What you have done in AWS DevOps?
Yeah, AWS DevOps. I'm just using that yeah, EC2 instance, EC2 services, and IAM users, sir, and S3 bucket.
Okay, I think you're confused between AWS DevOps and AWS. AWS is like a bigger picture, and AWS DevOps is a part of it, and it's a different ball game altogether. EC2 instance is a service provided by AWS. AWS DevOps has its own components like code build, code pipeline, code deploy. Heard about it?
Yes, yes, sir.
So can you explain me any like what is code build? What do we understand from code build?
No, I don't have proper idea on that.
Okay, okay. And code deploy?
No, sir.
Code pipeline?
No, that services I don't know, sir.
Oh, okay, okay, no problem. So, what are the other services you are aware about? I mean, you are confident about in AWS?
No, I'm using only these three services: EC2 and S3 bucket and IAM users, roles and groups, sir.
Okay, EC2, S3, and IAM.
IAM users, yes.
Okay. What do you understand by instance profile in IAM? Okay, no problem. What is the difference between IAM role and IAM policy? Did you get my question? Hello?
Yeah, IAM roles. Yes, IAM roles. We can create IAM roles and we can assign to the users, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so who has the access to AWS resources? IAM role or IAM policy?
Rules.
Okay, and what do then IAM policy do?
IAM policy will control their permissions, sir.
Okay, okay.
Like for example, a role with no, without policy attached, so not possible to access the AWS resources.
Okay, okay. Can you repeat? This was correct. Can you repeat?
Yeah, a role without policy. For example, if any role without policy,
Mm-hmm.
so they can't access the AWS resources.
Okay, and a policy that is not attached, what happens to that?
No, they can't access, sir.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think I'm done. Do you have any questions for me?